Okay, how about now? How is the audio? Oh, goodness gracious. What a disaster. My apologies for that. That was one of these unforeseen events. Yeah, I guess this is what happens when you have the audio mixer out on the desk and someone walks by and elbows it or something. I don't know. Anyway, we're back. Grand and sincere apologies unto all of you. Here we are. We are about to rock and roll with some Biirai and some Biirai-Tbæk. That's right. Today is a red letter day because we are going to be working on not only Biirai, but also the ancestral family of Biirai, which we have Biirai, which is in Biiraic, and then within that is going to end up being the branch of a larger family, Biirai-Tbæk. So we need to figure out what Proto-Tbæk is going to look like. And yeah, that's, I think, well, no, wait, that's not all. We have something actually really a lot more important. And I think that it should be the focus of the very, very first little segment, which is we have a contest for you. And this isn't going to be a YouTube segment. This is just for the stream community. But let's take a look and see what I'm talking about. What is this contest? Side webcam. We have a Biiraiverse fanfiction contest for all of you creative people out there in the community. This is for you. So, Biiraiverse fanfiction contest. What is it? Essentially, what we're doing is we're just saying thank you for being with us. This is, we've now passed 50 episodes of this live stream. Actually, if we go to the footnote, we can see actually that August 16th was number 50. But to celebrate the brilliant community and the lovely friendships that we've made along the way, we would like to give you the opportunity to sort of have your say in the Biiraiverse more directly. So that means Biiraiverse fanfiction contest. And the idea is that over the next month or so, we'll have all the details on this page, which I will send out to you. Within the next month or so, we're asking people to write 1,000 words of fiction set in the Biiraiverse. We have a prompt for you so that we can sort of focus the energy in one time and place. And then we'll put it out to the public to vote on which is the winner. We'll put it out maybe as a YouTube poll or a Discord poll or something. We'll work on the logistics. Depends on how many entries we get. And we will canonize the story. So it will become part of the official Biiraiverse lore. And then, furthermore, we will also produce a video in which I narrate the story with, I'm going to do, a lot of voices and things. So it's going to be, we're going to give it the full treatment. And we're going to use excerpts from the story as prompts for translations. So when we go and work on Biirai again, we can take a paragraph from the story and translate it. So that's the idea. The winner will be chosen based on a community vote of all eligible entries. This is the prompt. The year is 200 BP, that is before the present. A group of merchants from the coastal Kwak-speaking regions of Continent A make a voyage into the inland desert to obtain valuable goods to sell in their homeland. But the desert is Biirai land, and the travelers have a lot to learn. Adventure ensues. So it's pretty vague and broad, but at least gives a time and a place, and hopefully enough seeds of fun stuff so that you can let your imaginations run wild. And if you have any questions, well, hopefully we can answer them today because we'll be working on Biirai, but you can also go to the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord already, there's a link in the description of this video. And you can ask them in the Biiraiverse channel, as we have a nice little channel for this. Logistically speaking, 1,000 words is the limit. This is so that I can, won't torture Lucy by having her record a 5-hour-long video, and also to keep your schedules in order. So 1,000 words over the next month. So by October 4th, by the stream time on October 4th, which will be a Tuesday. So that'll be the deadline. In terms of content, because we're going to put it up on YouTube just to, make everyone's lives easier, just keep it all ages suitable and all that good jazz. And to submit, we will be making a fan fiction channel on the Discord. So you can post the file, plain text, Word, whatever you want to do in the Discord by the date. And then just the last thing is that because we're going to be posting it up on the wiki, everything on the wiki is Creative Commons licensed. So just that you'd be okay with us putting it there, because we'd like to host it and give it its canonical status. So that is the gist of it. I'm going to just stop there, say hello to the chat, answer any questions about the contest, if there are any in the meantime. Oh, I see a question coming in. Quanti, have I ever made dialects of one language? And okay, I'll answer that first. Usually I'll put in a few, dialect notes like, this diphthong is used in this region, or this diphthong isn't used in this region. But I haven't done anything too extreme, because what ends up happening is I end up evolving it into a different language in the end. And so I'm just addicted to creating new languages. And what do I think about the Dutch diphthongs? The Dutch diphthongs, I'm not very well versed in the Dutch diphthongs. I'll have to check those out. All right, let's take a little look at some of these linked items so you can see what's going on. So continent A, this is the continent. So the travelers are coming from this region, which is a region which speaks a language called Kwak, named after a chicken. And they're going to come down into this desert, which is the homeland of the Biirai speaking people. And it's going to be about, the cultural differences that exist between these two groups, a lot of adventure, and we can flesh out some of the Biirai customs, which is another one of our goals today. So that's that. I'll put in a little link into the chat. Actually, what I'll do is I'll get Lucy to do it when Lucy has a moment. And yeah, let's have fun. Ooh, I got a good knuckle crack there. That's good. All right, so Galactic Sand. Oh, for the Tbæk branch. Yeah, this is something that we're going to do. Tbæk is going to happen. To have the initial T be a mutation that happens when some root back comes after certain words. Interesting. I like that. SM, is Biirai an extant language in this world? Some version of Biirai is. So this is something that we're going to work on today, is figuring out what the sociolinguistic situation for Biirai is. So this is kind of complicated. What I'm thinking will happen is we will have, I'll just come over here and talk to you directly. What I'm thinking will happen is we have Biirai, which we've been working on. And then what we'll do is we'll have a bunch of Biirai dialects. I think I talked about this on Discord a little ways back. And these Biirai dialects are really going to be essentially separate languages, but we're going to have a lot of diglossia. So we're going to have the literary or classical Biirai, which is the Biirai that we know and love, be used as a sort of either a high status language or a formal language or something like this, or an intergroup communication language. And we are going to be opening up the Biirai dialects to the community. So if you want to make your own version of Biirai, that's open. We can just say, oh, that's spoken at this oasis, or that's spoken in this region. So that's the idea. All right. Max, how will we come up with appropriate names for the characters in the stories? So what I'm going to do is we can look through the Pquak documents. I'll update the prompt, and I will link to the Pquak lexicon, because we actually have naming customs already worked out for the Pquak, which are a Sakrat speaking group. So I'll show you. I'll generate a few roots that you can use for names. You can choose which ones you want. But essentially, here we go. Side webcam. So we have Pquak here, and we have a fairly extensive glossary. Pquak is this column right here, this kind of dark, I don't know what that is. That's some kind of green of some description. And so you can have things like, Kes is fish, Quat is lose, Mswas is unknown. Nit is shine. So we have a whole lexicon ready, which you can use to make names. And we've actually done a little bit of name generation in the proto language. So this is where we get the famous Dwan Tarun from, the fruit holder. And so that's where we can get names from for the Pquak speakers, and for the Biirai speakers, obviously we have access to Biirai. So I'll put that on my to-do list to get you a naming sheet for Pquak. All right, what's next up? And to follow up on Max's question, how will they be anglicized? You can Romanize them just according to the conventions that we've established for the language. If you want to innovate, obviously feel free to do that as well. The only thing that we may have to do when canonizing it, when making it official, is making sure that there are no contradictions. Saying that this word is in this language and it doesn't fit the phonotactics, that kind of thing we may have to adjust very slightly. But generally, we're not going to be touching the content. More questions. Is there a huge class divide? So this is what we have to work out. We have to work out what the circumstances that led to this diglossia were. So that's going to be part of today's task. And then Wasokewi asks, has anything happened with the writing systems? Not yet. So this is something that we need to work on as well. A lot of stuff we need to work on, I'm noticing. But work on it we shall. We have some really cool writing systems that have been made for Biirai in the Discord. So that could be part of the answer to, what's special about Biirai culture? Why do they have so many different writing systems? Why do they have so many different dialects, but one sort of standard form that they use to communicate with each other or communicate in formal situations? These are the things that we have to answer. Ship Combo says it's probably more about them having a very tribal society than a very strong class divide. I would imagine, my idea is roughly along these lines. As Ship points out, perhaps what happens is what we would ordinarily think of as a complete language family is actually very culturally united. So all of the Biiraic language speakers are very culturally close, and they have a lot of shared institutions. Even though politically they may be isolated and geographically they may be isolated, they may have some sort of cultural, some sort of larger cultural connection among each other, which the classical Biirai language is associated with. So this is, you think of a kind of thing like religion, or like the ancient Greek Olympic Games. These kinds of institutions might provide this opportunity for this language, to classical Biirai, to be used among all the different groups. So that's the idea. Thank you, Lucy, for putting the link in the chat, and we will put it in the Discord as well right after this stream. All right. All right. I just saw May I intervene saying Tbæk and Biirai come from the same root. And I just started thinking, I don't know, my brain just started doing what it wanted. Okay, so What's our plan? We have to do, now that I've outlined the contest, we have a few things to do. One is to work on that sociolinguistic situation, which we're already starting to talk about. So I think maybe we should start off with that. So that's what we'll do first. The next is we want to work on Biirai-Tbæk, the Proto-Biirai-Tbæk. And I think if we have time, we'll also work on some verbal morphology in Biirai. But I don't know, because of that slightly awkward start that we got off to, we may not have as much time as we might have hoped. But nevertheless, let's get started. YouTube intro time. All right. I got it that time. YouTube. Welcome back. We are in full world building mode right now. We're working on the Biirai languages and the Biirai culture. And we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on to make them share a language. These people who live in the desert, probably in fairly isolated circumstances, why do they all share a language? So this is what we're going to work on today. It's going to be a world building, sort of half Conlang, half world building. So let's jump in and let's see. Where's my side webcam? There it is. Whoa, that's a fanfiction contest. How'd that get there? Let's go over to Biirai. So the idea that I had, and I posted this in Discord, and by the way, YouTube, if you're watching this and you're thinking, Discord, there's a Discord? I had no idea about this. Please, I encourage you, check out the description because you'll see a link and you're more than welcome to join us. But I made a little tree of what I imagined the relationship between the Biiraic languages to be. So we have Biirai, which apparently we're going to be slow today on this computer. We have Biirai, which is this language that we've been working on. Biirai. We have Biirai. This is the language, where if you want to say hello, you say Tagi Aumkisi. And if you haven't studied Biirai yet, check out one of our earlier videos, which I'm sure we'll also link if we remember. Okay, so Biirai, that's Biirai. We also have so I'm going to call this Biirai, but this is really literary or classical Biirai. Classical on the one hand. Then on the other hand, we have various vernacular Biirai dialects. And dialects is going to be the term that we use, but they are probably, depending on what we end up doing, they'll probably be better thought of as separate languages, but based on mutual intelligibility. But the political consideration or the cultural consideration and the predominance of classical Biirai is going to make us tempted to call them dialects in universe. So I'll call them that for now. Vernacular Biirai dialects. Why have I put these in two separate planes? Well, because I think the vernacular Biirai dialects should not descend directly from classical Biirai. I think they need a I don't know what's going on with my computer. It just seems to halt every few seconds. Proto-vernacular Biirai. And I'm thinking that these two have a similar relationship to as classical Latin and Proto-Romance do. So this is the ancestor of all of the vernacular dialects, and this is a self-consciously literary form of the language. There's a relationship between these two, and we could say that there's another language from which they both descend, Proto-Biiraic. But this is the rough structure, and there will be many of these vernacular Biirai dialects. So that's the rough structure I'm thinking of. I'm just not cooperating today. Nothing's cooperating today. So let's ponder just briefly what is above Biiraic, Proto-Biirai. Proto-Biirai. I don't know. So, because we always appreciate a good meme, we have decided to make the family of which Biirai is a member, the whole Biirai branch is a member, Proto-Biirai-Tbæk, which means we also have Proto-Tbæk. And we need to wonder what's going on here. What are these languages? So this is another thing that we'll be discussing shortly. All right. Oh, hydration break, 1 sec. All right. I wanted you to see my struggle with that water bottle. We are back. Let's take a look. So, in what way is proto-vernacular Biirai and going to be different from literary Biirai? I'm not sure we have to make any big decisions about this yet, but I'm leaving this in as a branch so that we can have some play. So if we want some feature in these vernacular dialects, then we can do that. Otherwise, we can ignore the difference. Okay, yeah, we're struggling today. It's one of those days. I tell you, this morning I was teaching a class. Story time. This morning I was teaching a class, and the software that I was depending on conked out, and there I was, sort of very first day of class, no software, no nothing, and then I rolled up my sleeves and said, you know what? This is what I trained for. And I drew those pictures on the board, and I explained things like we used to. When it was just you and the chalk, man. It was crazy, crazy times. We didn't have all this technology. I mean, we actually did have quite a bit of it. We had email. We even had Facebook, but we even had Twitter. But the point is, we didn't have all this technology, man. It was just you and the chalk out there. If that chalk broke, that was you. That was you done. You had to gesticulate wildly. Oh, it was a grim scene. Anyway, back to work. Ooh, Jack, I like that idea. Have one surviving Biirai dialect preserve some Proto-Biirai features that classical Biirai has lost. All right, so I think what we need to do is start working on we need to start working our way a little bit back to Tbæk. We need to start working our way back to Tbæk. You get my meaning, I hope. So what I would like out of the Tbæk languages is I have this idea. I think let's just go off script and let's just mess around today, because when things don't go your way, you got to make some lemons. Make some lemons out of that lemonade. So you remember how we did with Sakrat, with Proto-Sakrat, we have this sesquisyllabic language where we have a minor syllable and a major syllable, something like this. So Sakrat, and obviously there are some complications, with R's and things, but sneeze coming on, 1 sec. Goodness gracious, not my day. Anyway, so we have this this kind of structure where we have the light syllable and then the heavy syllable, the minor syllable and the major syllable. I think Tbæk, maybe not Proto-Tbæk, but one of the languages in Tbæk should have the opposite kind of structure. So it's sesquisyllabic in the opposite way. Something like this. So instead of like sakrat, it would be more like kratza. That's just an example. And it would have this trochaic structure. So sakrat is very iambic. We have this weak, strong rhythm going on in the language. And one of these Tbæk languages can be kind of the opposite, strong, weak. So kratza. I'd also like it to be, I kind of want like a cute, round language, like a little kind of, I don't know how to describe this. Let's try and figure out how to describe this. I want something where a viable word would be like blombo or something like that. Like, you know, something like that. I don't know. I just want something kind of round and cute. All right. I see some good ideas coming up in the chat. Blombo. And I think this language could also use a lot of rhyme. I think that would be kind of fun. Blombo dombo. You know, this kind of thing. You know, it's kind of dun 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 dun. That's the vibe I want for one of these Tbæk languages. So how we get there from Biirai, I have no idea. But let's work on some phonological mysteries, some phonological features for Proto-Tbæk. And let's turn to you, the chat, because I think it will be cool knowing that we have Biirai here, knowing that we have Blombo Bombo or Glombo Bombo or whatever, as we want that to be one of the Tbæk languages. Those are two interesting fixed points, and I think having a third one will enable us to take also to creative pathways between them. So, do you have anything you're dying to see in Proto-Tbæk? Are there any features? Last time we rolled the dice, but this time I'm going to put it in the hands of the chat. So, we need to. I want to know if there's anything that you've just been dying to see in one of these languages that we haven't done yet, and then, Elijah, we are going to triangulate. So we're going to take all of these constraints on us and see how we can what does Proto-Biirai look like? What does Proto-Biirai-Tbæk look like? So that's the idea. Okay, so I see so many good things here. Okay, so consonant mutation. We know I love consonant mutation. Breathy voice stops. Clusters from Queen. The Dutch r. All right. D voice trills. Polypersonal agreement. Okay, this I did the thing I should never do, and I asked chat for suggestions. There is no shortage of ideas in this community. That is for sure. Breathy voice stops, vowel harmony, Georgian level clusters. Okay. All right. So I think we got a good collection of features here. Let's see. So we have what are we gonna do? Let's get our IPA keyboard up. There we are. And let's start making a little inventory. I'm just gonna be totally messy today. And this is going to be Proto. Actually, I can. And for those who are wondering why I'm not using more hotkeys and things, it's because this is Windows, and half the time I use a hotkey, some random stuff comes up over the screen, or Windows go flying into the great beyond, and you know it's tough out there. It's tough out there for a Mac user on a Windows machine. Okay, Tbæk. So let's get a little basic consonant chart here. Labial, coronal, dorsal, Throttle. Stop. I don't know what's going on with my computer. I blame the dark forces of Windows. Nasal. Okay, let's worry about the Austrian system first before we move on to anything else. Okay. Queen's having regrets about quat. It's not as out there. So we have to make up for it here. So Proto-Biirai-Tbæk. So we need some breathy voice stops. So let's give ourselves a compliment. Ba, da, ga. That's a good start. I guess I don't need to copy the whole thing, do I? There we go. And if we're going to have those, I think we should also have our voiceless pataka. Whether we want to have a more elaborate voicing contrast, I'm not sure. Let's see. The machine god. Seriously, Jack, the machine god is not my friend today. I don't know what I did. I don't know. It's as I always say, it's rough out there. It is rough out there. All right. Pa, ba, da, da, ka, ga. Let's see, what else have I promised? Yeah, the voice velar fricative. R. Where is that? You'd think it would be under G, right? Not so. R. Unvoiced. So what we could just do the, I don't know. I don't want to do Sanskrit exactly, but because then we might get, we might have the temptation to okay, so what if we did do Sanskrit? A four-way voicing contrast. We would have to promise not to do anything Sanskrit-like anywhere else. Or we could just do, like Quain suggests, the Wu dialect issue, or the Wu dialect approach. Yeah, okay, let's just do a three-way voicing contrast. I think that's what the mood in the chat is in favor of. And if we have this, r, I almost would like this r to have come from somewhere. Interesting. Interesting. Just kidding, unless. Okay. So let's be boring before we can. Let's be boring before we are interesting. I would like this not to be so symmetrical. What if we didn't do this and the r had come from the g? And so we have a gap here. And then we have a fairly fricative poor inventory. And so this sort of tells us a bit of a diachronic story, that there's this gap here and yet there's this r fricative here. Maybe the g became r. So for Proto-Biirai-Tbæk, we'd have a more symmetrical system. Who knows? Potential. Nasals. Okay. So let's get some approximates here. Oh, I don't know what's going on with this computer. It just decides every few seconds just to chug. And it's not doing, what am I asking it to do? I'm asking it to stream. This is ridiculous. All right, so I don't know about any affricates. Let's get ourselves some nasals. So if this is back, then we would need a b. Otherwise, the b would actually be the back. The back. Interesting. Okay. The back. Yeah. Okay, so we're all on the same page here. And n. No n. I don't know if we can do no n. But we could do a velar nasal as well. And also keep in mind that Tbæk doesn't actually have to be pronounceable in Proto-Tbæk. It could be, Tbæk could be one of the daughter languages. A word from one of the daughter, it could even be an exonym for all we know. That happens a lot. All right. Let's put in a little break here. I'm going to take a little eensy-weensy break, make sure all the technical stuff is okay, and then we'll be back and we'll work on Proto-Tbæk. So, YouTube, where are you? Here you are. YouTube, we will see you shortly. We're going to be working on Proto-Tbæk. Everything's going to be great, and the computer is not going to be a problem. Right? Right? Okay, see you next time. Oh, I am just not having any luck with this machine or any machine today. I'm going to see if there's something that's going on that's causing all these stutters. So I will be, well, you know. Well, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if any of you guys are good with computers. You good with computers? I don't know. You good with computers? I don't know. Today I'm not good with computers, but anyway. Yeah, so it seems to be, everything seems to be fine, but it hiccups every so often. Well, this is just what we have to deal with, so let's forge ahead. All right, we need to work on Proto-Biirai-Tbæk. I think that's the goal. And let's get a nice IPA chart going for the... Let's get a nice IPA chart going for the consonant and vowel systems of this language. I'm just looking something up here. Yeah. Let's do it. So we need to get, what have we done? We've done stops, fricatives, nasals. We need to do the approximants and the taps / trills, and then I think we shall conquer, and then we'll get onto the vowels. All right, so hi to YouTube, I suppose is in order. Let's welcome back, YouTube. Yeah, life, as many of the wise and learned sages of the history have told us, is suffering. And today we are encountering a little bit of suffering of a technical nature. So, will we prevail against these odds to create an awesome proto-phonology? I think our chances are pretty good. Let's scoot over to the side webcam and let's continue. All right, Proto-Biirai-Tbæk. This is what we have so far. We have this three-way contrast in stops. We have p, p, b, t, t, d, k, k, but no g, because it perhaps has wandered down to become r. In terms of fricatives, we only have s and r so far. We may want to put in a h, I think, here. No affricates at the moment. Nasals, we have our three friends, man, nga. And now we need to work on approximants, taps, and trills. And I believe we want to devoiced trills as that was a desiderandum. All right, so if we're going to do devoiced, let's just have devoiced, let's put all of our sonorants. Let's have devoiced equivalents of all of our sonorants, shall we? Ma, ma, na. It's a bit hard to say these. Na and na. I don't know if you can even hear those, but there they are, nevertheless. And we can have these go in all sorts of different directions. Taps and trills. We had a request for a ra and a r. So those are going in. I think we probably want a... We probably want a w and a hua as well. And why not also put in a y and a h? This is going to be pretty unstable. It's going to be awesome. Oops. There we go. Friends, what do we think? Oh, I see Queen is spamming affricates. Interesting. Okay, I dig that. F, s, and k. All right. So this is a respectable a respectable inventory here. It's quite wacky, but that's why we love it. I'm just wondering if we should leave this gap here, this g gap, and fill it with this voiced, this requested Dutch G, or if we should keep them both. I kind of like this gap. We have p and pf. We have p, p, pf. Yeah, I wonder what the story is with this language. Okay. Okay, we're leaving the gap. We're leaving the gap. I see a lot of love for the gap. So this is an interesting consonant inventory. Let's work on some vowels, shall we? So vowels, high, mid, low. Please respond. Front, central, back. The good friends that we've made over the years. Ugh. Okay. We are going to need to put in, I think, a. I think that's just necessary. So let's get e and u in there. Let's get a, and I think maybe we should get ah in as well. So we have this truly symmetrical system. And then I see, yeah, Quain, nice. Front rounded vowels. Okay, let's do it. E, E. I think we should be maximalist in this language. I think that's just appropriate. E, E. O. And a schwa. I'm seeing a request for it. I always honor requests for schwa. Okay. So this is pretty nice. I, U, E, Ö, A, U, O, A, E. And maybe we could also get in some of the low mid and where is it? And o. Because we haven't played a lot with them in this world yet. So o. That's kind of nice. And don't ask me why, but I kind of have a hatred for these mid-high vowels. This I don't know why. I just don't like them. I don't like them very much. I know I speak a language with them, but maybe that's why. Familiarity breeds contempt, something like that. So if we have this, what kind of syllable structure do we need? I think we need something kind of obscene. Maybe one of these. CCC v CCC. So we could do something like let me select it, please. Psre. Psre. And let's have these purely obey the sonority hierarchy. So psren, psrent, psrent. you know, just a normal word. Psrent. Okay. Wait. I've missed some things. Make it CCCVVCCC. So essentially, this is allowing diphthongs in the pain. Diphthongs or long vowels. I suppose we could also have long vowels. We haven't discussed that yet. So psreint. Psreint. This is tough. Psre. Maybe I'll do psreil. Psreilnt. 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 Weird. Yeah, NH is uncomfortably close to this. Nah. Psrent. Dangerously close. Okay. Give me a... Oh yeah, there's no L, is there? I think we should have one. Shouldn't we have one? We should have one. I'm just going to put the Y into dorsal. Let's give ourselves an L. Okay, something like this. And let's... So we're just assuming that we can have diphthongs, and maybe even triphthongs. I saw in the chat. Triphthongs, do we want triphthongs? Let's give ourselves some constraints on what kind of diphthongs we can have. So one thing that's pretty common is to have your diphthongs sort of fleeing to the center. So you can have, say you're allowed to start on anything, but you have to end in E or U. That's a pretty common thing. Or maybe you have, so we could then have something like A. Wouldn't it be crazy to contrast, well, not crazy, but to contrast A and A and A? I think that's kind of fun. And we could do oi and oi. So maybe, I don't know what's going on. This computer's getting a bit unusable. Can barely highlight a cell and edit it. I don't know. I'm gonna do a quick Biirai, and I'm gonna try and fix this again. I don't know what it's gonna take. Sorry about that, chat. I think I figured it out. Okay, so here's another little story time. I had a bunch of windows open, bunch of Firefox windows open, as it turns out. And one of them was on Google Docs. And I guess there was some sort of a memory leak or something, but that window had bloated to an obscene level of memory usage. And I didn't even know that it was on because it was minimized into a tiny little square kind of tucked away in the corner. So I didn't even see it. And so I went, trying to close every application except for Streamlabs so I could stay on the stream. And I finally found it. And it looks like I have fixed it. Fingers crossed. Okay, so let's skedoodle back. I'm sorry, everyone. This is just a bit of a mess today, but nevertheless, we're having a good time. All right, so let's technical difficulty stream. That's the theme of the day. Psreilt. So this is Proto-Biirai-Tbæk. So our diphthongs are anything goes as long as you end in u or e. I think that's a good rule. So that means, echo, that aw, ow could be a diphthong. Ow, ow. Although we have to then figure out what kind of vowel harmony we're going to have, because we were promised vowel harmony. So it looks like we could have front back harmony. That's certainly, that'll work. So in that case, then diphthongs. It all depends on how we want to handle this harmony. If we could, do we want the diphthongs themselves to be harmonic? So in that case, we wouldn't have oi, because that would be going from back to front. If we have front-back harmony and the diphthongs have to be harmonic, then we can't have oi. We'd have to have ou. Front to back. It's a sign. It's a sign. Front to back. Okay. So let's do it. So anything goes as long as you end in u or e and are harmonic. We have front back harmony. I'm going to put in a lull there. We have I'll just write it like that. Front back harmony. And did we promise anything else? Clusters. Breathy voice stops. Constant mutation. D voice trills. So check. Promise made, promise kept. Promise made, promise kept. Promise made, promise kept. Promise made, promise kept. All right, so constant mutation and polypersonal agreement, but these are morphological, so we will get into that in a bit. But look at this. I think this is a beautiful inventory. So now that we have this done, let's try to work backwards from knowing that we have to come up with this system. Let's work backwards from Biirai to Proto-Biirai-Tbæk and then forwards. I think that's the idea. Oh, oy. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So u, e, or e. All right. So this is going to be very different from Biirai. Yeah, Jack. This is very different from Biirai's phonology. So how are we going to get between them? Let's keep Proto-Tbæk up here. Let's open up another Biirai sheet. We're having fun. The hideous blue background. Okay. Alrighty. So, yeah, we need to figure out how to get from this to this. or rather to get from Biirai up to Proto-Biirai-Tbæk and then forward to Proto-Tbæk. So let's do this in the context of a specific word. Let's use Biirai as our first example, obviously. So Biirai, how are we going to reconstruct this? How is it going to appear in Biirai, in Proto-Tbæk? Okay, what is it going to be? No, that's too far. That's too far of a jump. We need to just go back one thing. So let's say how to proceed with this. I'm not totally sure. I almost want to Taga. I think this is the answer as Tbæk. So Biirai and Tbæk are cognates. How are we going to make that happen? I know that there was an idea. Whoever put that in the chat, a derivation from Biirai to Tbæk. I'd be very curious to see that again. Let's make Biirai and Tbæk cognates. Okay, so back. This is what we're trying to evolve. So I think I saw a suggestion to make t as a as some sort of morphological element. So then this gets a bit easier. So we're trying to get from Biirai up to this. Get away from me. Up to this magical thing, which will give us Tbæk. Maybe Biirai. Cicinho, nice. Tibrak, Tbriach, Briai, Biirai. Tibrak, Tibrak. I like that idea. Let me try something. See what you think about this, because I had an idea. I think that the long vowels in Biirai might have some sort of an origin. What if we had something like Bikrai, or Biirai? Yeah, let's make it a glottal stop. Biirai, and then it drops out and gives compensatory lengthening to the vowel before it, and then this is actually some sort of a compound. So before it's Bikrai, and then this beak goes back to something like this. So we might have some sort of a chain shift that gives us the breathy voiced stops in Proto-Tbæk. So we get back, and then back and beak. Wondering what the vowel should be. Maybe something like beck. And that could do it. So maybe that's the answer, where the T is just morphology and the Rai is just morphology. That's got some potential. And so our Proto-Biirai-Tbæk word is beck. I see the chat has some suggestions along the lines of Armenian. The duo to Yerku moment. Bitach. All right, let's try that. Let's try the Bitach version. So this is one potential thing. Let's see another one. So Bitach, was it? So then Bitach, Bitai. Bitach, Bitai, and then we get some sort of a flapping style thing going on here. Biirai, and then lengthening in open syllables to give us Biirai. And then on the other end, Bitach. On the other end, sorry, I think I may have lost. Oh yeah, okay. Here it is. Bitach. This is Elijah's suggestion. This isn't my work. I'm just making it so that everyone can see it. So Bitach, and then we get fortition, Bitach. And then we get Bitach, Tbæk, Tbæk. Okay, this is another cool suggestion. So this is courtesy of Elijah. This is my attempt. Beck. I like this idea that Jack's put in. What if ba is actually ancestral? Some real Proto-Indo-European vibes here. And that's what lengthens the vowel. Interesting. Breathy voice lengthening a vowel. I'm not sure. I'm not up on my phonetics enough to understand whether that would be the case. But let's see. What would that end up looking like? So how does this get us our... Oh, I think I've run out of space. So how does this get us our Tbæk and Biirai? Is it true? Do breathy voices lengthen vowels in any languages anyone else is familiar with? I know that there is a tonal development in Punjabi, I think. Other than that, I don't know. Biirai, Tbæk. What would this... Yeah, my brain is blank on how this might work. But I saw a suggestion in the chat too. Who was it? Quain. That instead of having fortition of Bitach into Bitach, that we could just have Proto-Bitach and have Bitach go into Bitai. So Bitach, Bitach, Bitai. And then Tbæk, Proto-Tbæk is actually much more, much fewer steps. Well, unless you count something along these lines. Elijah, feet, Quain. That works. I like this. I like this reconstruction. Bitach. Tbæk. All right, let's see what else we can do. I like this reconstruction, I think, better than my own. We will be going for another half hour, roughly. Actually, that puts in a good moment for me to do a little cut. Sorry, things have been very chaotic this stream, but I think we're having some fun, so it makes it all worthwhile. YouTube, we will be back to do more of this silliness soon. So we will see you next time. And chat, I'm going to just, apologies, take another break and recenter myself, and then we will get going again. Okay, I saw what Jack just wrote. I was recentering. I was starting to levitate. I was in such calm. But then I saw what Jack just wrote, and I thought, what if I'm just going to go over to the side here. What if instead of Biirai, it was Biitaki? And then the ch just drops out. Like that. And then we would have a reason for ak. Because we have umlaut. Right? So then we have Biitaki. In the proto-language, Biitaki, going to Biitaki, Tbæk, 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 Tbæk. And Biitaki going to Biitaki, going to Biirai, 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 Biirai. I think that gets us there. My intervene asks, can this proto-language restrict CV? Maybe. Let's do a few. So we know we have the outlines of a few sound changes here. I'm just going to remove these alternative proposals because I think this is the winner. Let's take another word in Biirai, and let's see what it would look like. Let's see what have we been memeing about? I think we need something like one of our phrasebook things. Tagi. So what would Tagi come from? Oh, I guess I should do the YouTube intro, right? Yeah, okay. YouTube. Hi YouTube, welcome back. I got ahead of myself and just started working. So come on in. We're just messing around with some reconstructions. Okay. This is okay. So Tagi. What are our rules here? Let's start writing them down for Biirai. So we have K2X in between vowels. What was that? We have X dropping out entirely, 0. We have flapping. Then we have vowels lengthening in an open syllable. I'll just use this notation for syllable boundary. Oh no, I'll use the period. That'll work. And that gets it to us. So conceivably, this could be a tagi. And there's nothing else that we need to do. Although two things come up for me with this sound change. One, we need to have a way to retain intervocalic T. Oops, sorry, this is meant to be intervocalic. We need a way to retain intervocalic T and intervocalic K because Biirai has both. So maybe tagi's not that interesting, but we could find something that is sitim. Sitim, to move. So maybe this is starts out as sitim, but why is this not sirim? This is what we must discern. So we can make use of one of the contrasts that we have in Tbæk. So what we have here is sitim, aspirated. Where is my beautiful aspiration diacritic? Sitim. And then that would work. So I just need to put in down here a aspirates become plain everywhere. And then we have proto-sitim. Sitim, which works well with STM. Good. Okay. Okay. So, next. Maybe we actually have all of these. Maybe this ch, ra thing is one sound change. Because look, it's very similar kind of change, right? So maybe let's put this up. So this is going to just absolutely monkey with what we have over to the left. But for now, what if PTK become something like okay, it was a... See, this is another thing, back to story time. I don't understand why people use this operating system. I mean, I'm doing it because I have to here. Maybe that's always the answer. But I'm in the middle of a stream and it says, hey, remember that time last year when you took a picture of a rabbit? Here's a noise that everyone needs to hear and a picture of that rabbit. And I love rabbits. I appreciate being reminded of the time I took a picture of a rabbit. That was great. But I question whether it's really the right moment to do that. And really whether we have to have these moments at all. Anyway, my little rants today. Here we are back in action. So we have some kind of interesting lenition going on here. I don't know about F, but ra and k and ch. And maybe I wonder if this should be voiced. Because ra is voiced. Oh, by the way, this is a tap. This is exactly the same rule that we have in most varieties of North American English and a few others. The flapping or tapping rule. Yeah, I kind of want these to be something. I want these to be a class of changes, but tatara. Not sure what we should do. I'm gonna look at the chat for inspiration. All right. Pa to wa. Oh, Quain. I dig it. Pa to wa. And then maybe we could have, instead of going to kha, we could go to gha and then just quickly lose it. And then that gets us what we need. Bitari. Biiraiverse. What am I doing? What am I clicking on? Biiraiverse. And then that goes to Biirai. And there we go. Now that's a sound change. And then we get this sort of change shifting in to fill these pataka becoming pataka. Voila. How about that? And maybe we could have some of these depend on stress, because the initial stress in Biirai could come in here. So we could have stress be bitaki, and maybe that could help us, or bitaki. And maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm sort of thinking. I'm thinking about some fun stuff we can do with stress, but I'm not sure if I have it developed enough in my head to write it out yet. I was sort of thinking, yeah. Anyway. Let's forget about stress for now. But we do have to have a stress shift. Stress shift to initial. Stress shift to initial. And then this gives us sitim. Sitim. And this gives us sitim. Okay. And this gives us our output. Wonderful. And tagi. So the question then is, what is giving us this ga? Or rather, better asked, is it really plausible for the pa ta ka to lanite like this in between vowels and have the ga completely untouched? That seems a bit implausible. What do we have here? We have the pataka becoming these voiced things. We have ga. I almost feel as if I'm not sure what we want to do. We could do what we did in the Tokipona thing last week and have NC clusters turn into, like NT clusters turn into voiced, but we're going to have NT clusters in in Biirai, so I don't think that's the answer. Where are we going to get these from? Chat. All right. Proto-voiced aspirates. We're just doing Indo-European again. All right. So what if we do? What if we do to it? So ba, the, ga. Ba, the, ga. To ba, the, ga. Everywhere. Then we have move this up here so everyone can take credit. Then we have bitaki and tagi. That works. Yeah, Jack, this does feel like historical linguistics challenge. My brain is, well, it's not in top form today, but what are you gonna do? Bitaki tagi sitim. All right, so then basically we have the same system more or less that we reconstruct for Proto-Tbæk. So that would mean Proto-Tbæk keeps its consonantal system, with this one change of g to r. Okay, that works. That works. So then what else can we do? And maybe if we're doing the, as we said, the CV, strict CV, we could have like sitimi, and we just lose. We lose the some final vowels, but not all final vowels. Only when they come, what are our, only when they're after one of these. This extremely natural class. Let's just put it in for now. We'll fix it later. So then we get sitim. Okay. And then, Elijah, ts to z in Biirai. Yes. I don't love this. But maybe okay. I think there's something here, but I don't have the presence of mind to do it right now. I'll consider this later. Okay. So let's find a word in Biirai that we can use. I think, what do we have? Zaru, right? We can use that one. Thank you. Nope. Zaru. Okay, so we need to put in this ts. Although we don't really have spontaneous voicing anywhere else. I guess it's kind of like, it might be like this change. Let's see what it looks like. Zaru. So I'm assuming that these long vowels are generally not etymological. So we have zaru and saru. It could be tsatu, or we could have an etymological R there. Not sure what we want to do. But this would give us tsatu in the proto-language. Tsatu to zaru. Jack, z from zda, as in ancient Greek. What if we did that? In fact, what if we did... What if we had a sort of like Latin rhoticism thing going on? Where actually it's not ra that it goes to immediately, but z. And then z later goes to ra. So this would be bizagi, and then this goes to Biiraiverse. Yeah, that could be cool. Sorry, I'm being very inconsistent with my tap and trill thing here. They're all supposed to be taps. I kind of like that, but then this gives us the chance to do something with this z. Do we have any z? What about z becomes z? When it's the stress syllable. So we get fortition at the start of a stress syllable. And then we can actually use this stress. But then we would have no way of getting it to... We would have no way of getting Z in any word initial place. But I want it. Or maybe this comes from a y. Which gets strengthened in a stress syllable. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. Jack, we could have a word initial syllable that was lost. That's true, we could do that. Yeah, okay, let's see if we could do that then. So something like, I don't know, adzaru. I'm putting a schwa here just because I want a semi-principled reason to get rid of this vowel. And so this means that we can just get rid of schwas. But I don't really know what quality we want this to be. Z. So then this goes to atatu, right? Watch this. Oops, I needed stress. So I'm just going to use this. Atatu, azazu, and we need to lose schwa here. Sorry, chat, I'll pay attention in a sec. I just want to solve this. Lose schwa. So azazu, zazu. Zazu. And zaru. And that gets it to us. Atatu. So zaru comes from atatu in this analysis. Don't use straw, use something like H1. Okay. Okay, so I like this. And I like what Jack said above, where we can have wa be actually va, and then it ends up being changed into wa. Okay, this is really cool. I kind of like this. So we have bitaki. I don't know where the stress is going to be. Maybe just penultimate. So sitimi, bitaki, tagi, tagi, sitimi, atatu. Yeah. Which gives us biirai, tagi, sitim, zaru. Oh, I like this. This is good. Okay. U would be lost with the rules right now. Oh, you're right. Okay, then let's get rid of this vowel deletion rule. And let's put in a schwa. Sitima. There we go. Problem solved. We'll have to revisit this because that's a bit ugly. I don't like just putting in a schwa because I want something to delete. I'd like to have a reason why we have this, these phonotactics in Biirai, like why these particular consonants. I'd like there to be something a bit more motivated there. But I think we have achieved our goal. And it is now our time to end. And I think we pulled it out of the fire today, team. I don't know. What do you think? I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm going to come back to the full screen and just do a few more. Well, let's say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube, thank you for joining us. Apologies for the scatteredness this stream. This is a wonky one. Sometimes it happens that way, but we're very glad that you could join us and come back soon where you'll see tons more of stuff like this. Okay. Until then. Okay, team, chat, friends, loved ones, thank you so much for being here today. I have a few housekeeping-y things to say. So one, which is, why don't I lead with the bad news? The bad news is for the next 3 weeks, I will not be streaming because unfortunately I will be away from technology. I'll be in the mountains at high altitudes. And it's going to be sad. I will miss all of you, but we will be back in the first week of October. So that's 3 weeks, no streams. We will try to keep you tided over with videos in the meantime. We still have quite a backlog, so those will be coming out. So that's the unfortunate news. And I promise I will post pictures in the Discord of mountainous terrain and this kind of thing. And it's not going to be as high up as it was last time I was in the mountains. That was intense. That was really painful in Cusco, but it will be nevertheless fairly high and not very internet accessible. So that's going to be that. But in the meantime, we have the fan fiction contest. This is something, if you are itching for more Biiraiverse, you can get your fill by either participating in the fan fiction contest, which if you weren't here at the start of the stream, I will show you the gist of right now. Nope. Press the wrong button. All right, so here it is. The idea is over the next month, before we come back to the next stream, we're having this contest for people to make a story set in the Biiraiverse. We have a little prompt here for you, just a short story, 1,000 words maximum. So the deadline for submission is October 4th, and the winner will be decided on by the community, and the winner will have their story canonized within the Biiraiverse. And not only that, but I will also make a video in which I will narrate the story dramatically, and then we'll use it as a translation prompt for future conlanging fun. So that is the gist of it. I will have more details for you in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, it's in the description, all that good jazz. Otherwise, I will see you in a few weeks. Thank you so much, chat. This has been, you've made it a joy. Will I do the movie trailer? I will, I'll probably do narrator voice. I'll probably do something like, I'll do voices for the different characters and everything too. Well, we can consult on this, but something like, the year is 200 before the present. A group of merchants from the coastal Quack-speaking regions of continent A make a voyage into the inland desert to obtain valuable goods to sell in their homeland. But the desert is Biirai land, and the travelers have a lot to learn. Something like that. Anyway, I don't know. That kind of just... But, I can, if you want a wise old man in there, I could do the Gandalf. I could, You have come to Biirai land. This kind of thing. It's all on the table. So hopefully that will entice you to do more. All right. Was that an English accent? I'm hesitant to say it was an English accent. It's more of I'm in an epic movie accent, which has certain features in common with various English accents. But anyway, I will see you all later. Be happy, be joyful, conlang a bunch while I'm gone, and I will be here in the Discord in the interim as well. I'll have at least enough data to do that, so I'll keep you posted with all the mountainous goings on. Until then, everyone, thank you so much. We will see you again. Thanks for bearing with me with all these crazy technical difficulties.